Caroline Steele is here. She is a senior at Central High School, and she is the Scholar Athlete of the Week for San Angelo Independent School District and Concho Sports Network. Caroline, welcome aboard.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So what you got going on today? You practicing? You coaching? What's happening?
We are doing our rec coaching classes today, and I coach 5 to 7 year olds recreational gymnastics.
When did you start gymnastics?
I started when I was 7 years old, which is pretty late for a gymnast.
That's late for a gymnast at 7?
Yes, most gymnasts start around 2 or 3,
Wow.
from my experience.
They actually have a gymnastics class for 3-year-olds?
Yes, they do. We have some in the summers.
Is it called tumbling when you're that young? Or
I don't even know what you would call that.
I tried to take tumbling when I was a kid to check it out. Right, doing a backflip on anything, never gonna happen. Don't you? Just doing that. I'm like, aren't people afraid they're gonna hit their head?
Yes, it is pretty scary, but
When did you figure out that you could do things like that? Was it at 7 where you were already flipping, jumping around?
no, I got moved up to team when I was 8 years old, and that's when I started really getting a lot more skills and gaining.
And you have a heritage, a lineage, a legacy going on at Central. Your mom was a gymnast?
Yes, she did do gymnastics all through her high school.
So a lady cat gymnast and a daughter lady cat gymnast.
Yes.
So do y'all ever talk about who was better?
No, she doesn't talk to me about it. She just lets it happen.
So was she involved in your gymnastics from an early age as a coach, or did she just stand back and let you do your thing and let you make your decisions?
She just stood back and let me make my own decisions, whether I wanted to continue doing it or not, and just lets me practice on my own.
I think that's probably a good way to go.
Yeah, she tries her best not to interfere with anything.
Rather than starting you at 3 and telling you this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You've done so good with it, though. I mean, and not just as a scholar athlete, of course, we'll talk about the scholar part of it, but this isn't the only thing that you participate in.
Yes.
You were a part of national champion cheer squad
Yes, sir.
two years ago at Central. Do y'all ever lose at cheer and gymnastics? Because y'all seem to always be winning. So are you cheering now?
No, I'm not cheering this year. I took my senior year off and just focused on gymnastics this year.
So when is the gymnastics? Is there a meet season, or is it a year-round thing?
It's kind of year-round. We start our actual competitions in December, and this year we're competing all the way through the beginning of May.
Okay. Do you compete on your own? A lot of people do club stuff. Do you belong to a club anywhere that you?
Not anymore. I competed club all the way up until high school, and then I decided I liked high school a lot better.
Yeah.
The environment's just a lot more fun to be in.
You get to compete with your friends.
Yes.
Do you have a special moment in your gymnastics career at Central that you remember? A special winning moment that really was something you'll always think about?
My freshman year at state, we went into the second day winning by a few points, which is pretty crazy in gymnastics. And then we were finishing on floor that day, I think, and we hit all of our routines. And then when we added up our all-arounds, we broke the school record and also the state record.
Wow.
For our combined score.
Has that been broken since?
No, it has not been
Hey.
broken since.
Let's read accolades. I'm going to put on my glasses. We're going to do accolades. Because when you're the Scholar Athlete of the Week, there's more than one. Okay. Second generation gymnastics. We talked about that. Multi-talented. National championship. You were a part of that as cheer. But that's not even all. What about track? What do you compete in track?
This year I'm stepping back from track, but my past years I've been a part of the relays, 4x1 and 4x2 mainly, and I pole vaulted some.
Really? I was going to ask you that because that's one of my favorite sports. What do you think about pole vaulting?
I mean, I really liked it. It kind of brought gymnastics into track for me, but it just became too much after my injury.
Yeah, and pole vaulting it ought to be an extreme sport like on the X Games because it's scary. And I guess you did. It was something that I couldn't, once I got hurt, I didn't have the nerve anymore. Did you automatically at pole vaulting have the nerve to be upside down, looking backwards on a bent piece of fiberglass? Did you take to that immediately?
Not really.
It's scary.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it like that because in gymnastics, you're always just flipping around.
I was going to ask you if you ever considered pole vault because of gymnastics, because I think one would make you better at the other, but you've done a lot of things that could get you hurt.
Yes.
Have you had significant injuries in your career?
I have had one significant injury. My sophomore year, I was dismounting off the beam, had pretty bad landing. That affected me pretty much the rest of that year.
That's tough. Did you, as you get older, you'll understand. Things that happened a long time ago to you that's ancient history seems like yesterday to me. Did you think about Carrie Strug?
Yes, I did a little bit in that moment because it was same ankle injury, Ankles are tough.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to hold it together.
Yes.
It'll bring tears to the toughest man's eye when they hurt their ankle. So let's talk about Coach Tony Walker. What Coach had to say about you. That you'll have a strong work ethic. Well, duh. Troublemaker, hard to coach. No, I'm kidding. Obviously not. And a strong character. And obviously a very good time manager. How do you manage to fit all this in and be a scholar and make good grades? You're number 5 in your senior class?
I'm number 7.
Number 7?
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So do you have a set schedule every day?
Yes, so I'll go to class and then I have a little bit of break between my classes in gymnastics. Try to get most of my homework done between those two. Go to gymnastics, finish out my day with that, and then come home and finish whatever schoolwork I have left.
Do you have to study a whole lot?
I do study pretty hard.
So you can't just study for 30 minutes and...
It depends on the subject.
Speaking of subjects, do you like math better or history English better?
Math. Definitely a math person.
I find that most of our scholar athletes seem to be more math oriented. There are a few that aren't, but... So what about, let's talk about the specific things that you do. All right. Multi-district regional medalist, placed at the state championships on vault, uneven bars, and all around. Since you started as a freshman, you don't really know how to not be a winner at this. So do you do like the open, like the floor thing, the open floor where you do the streamer? And
No. It's a
you
lot
can
of
tell
tumbling.
I'm an expert. You don't do that part. So uneven bars, why are they uneven?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be easier if they evened them up, maybe?
Maybe.
I wonder if that started as a mistake. So what else have you given a try to in gymnastics? The vault, which is, that's the thing that everybody is on edge, it seems like, when the Olympics come on.
Yes.
Like, got to make that vault, Carrie Strug. And is that scarier than pole vaulting?
For sure. I mean, a lot can happen in the matter of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you got to control your body and let your body take over more than like your mind.
It has to be just something that you do without thinking.
Yes, pretty much, because once you get in your head, that's a lot of time when the injuries do happen, because you start to bail and then you don't fully commit to what you're doing.
That's another pole vaulting thing. I've seen more people get hurt from bailing, like stutter stepping. Oh no! At some point you have to commit fully.
Yes.
Or that's when you could really run into trouble. Is that your favorite thing to do in gymnastics, or is there something else?
My favorite's bars.
That's I would like to. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that in person. It's always been somebody on TV. And speaking of that, do you have any heroes in the gymnastics world?
When I was younger, I would say probably Sean Johnson.
That's a name we haven't discussed today. We were kind of throwing some names around. Mary Lou Retton mean anything to you?
Not really.
She was America's sweetheart. That's the first Olympics I recall watching gymnastics where everybody was really a big fan of somebody. And that seems to be one of the darling sports in the Olympics that people may not realize they're a fan, but when it comes right down to it, everybody's watching.
Yes.
So in order to be an Olympian, and needless to say, you're really, really good at this. What does it take to get from really super good to Olympic good?
It's got to take a lot of work. You have to put in like multiple hours every single day of training and rehab and just making sure your body's working properly. Most girls, like from very young ages, are training elite, and those girls are the ones that are most likely to go on to Olympics and stuff.
You basically have to sacrifice everything else in your life.
Yes.
And there's no guarantee it's going to pay off, gold medal wise or money wise. So it's a gamble. Being a multi-sport athlete, do you want to continue any of these or all of these at a higher level?
I don't think I will continue after this just because my injury and got to focus on school.
Right. And you've been there, done that. I mean, you've accomplished a lot. And do you see yourself coaching?
Yes, I am planning on coaching in Lubbock at Rock Solid, which is their club gymnastics there.
Okay. Living in San Angelo difficult for club because we're not close to anything. If you want to go to Dallas or whatever.
We have a few clubs, but it's nothing compared to like the Dallas areas where you have so many options, and those coaches are like dedicated to their gymnast every day, all hours of the day. Like most of those girls do homeschool for gymnastics. Like
that's something I didn't think about, homeschooling. You don't really, oh man, that's a rigorous life. You seem to be a little more well-rounded. So what's the future hold though as far as school? You want to go to Tech?
Yes.
You have a family history of gymnastics here, and everybody in your family went to Tech.
Yes.
So what do you want to study?
I want to study chemistry, or there's a dual degree that I'm looking into, and then I want to be a radiologist.
Okay. Good field. Well, we wish you the best, and just enjoy the rest of your senior year. What is coming up for you?
We actually have our district meet next week, and then we start our like postseason meets starting next week for regionals and state following that.
So what do you think? Going to go all the way?
Hopefully.
It's nothing new.
That's the goal.
All right. There's a standard and a tradition, and you've certainly upheld that, and hope you find some time to just enjoy yourself. Do you have any interest outside of all of this?
Not really, just hanging out with friends and family.
All right. Well, we wish you the best, and congratulations. Go
Thank
brag
you.
to all your friends and family. You're the Scholar Athlete of the Week for SAISD from Concho Sports Network. Thank you for joining us, Caroline Steele, Central Senior.
Thank you.